Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's just finished West Ham United 6, Perth Glory 2, and yes, it was only a friendly, but that was enjoyable. The second half was really enjoyable. The first one had a little bit of a lackluster pace to it, but the second half I enjoyed a lot more. For a moment, I thought we had Alan Irvine and Paul Nevin back in the dugout there, because there was just goals. 6-2 West Ham. Anyway, we'll go through the highlights very, very quickly, and then we'll talk about a couple of player performances. But one thing, let's just start with the obvious disclaimer. It was only a friendly. I'm not getting too excited based on what we've just seen, but there are indicators in friendlies. I think there's some positives you can take from it. It's all about fitness. It's all about smart sharpness. Of course, as you could see that today, every player at some point did a sloppy pass, but there were some decent bits of football on display from West Ham. We took the lead after 2 minutes and own a goal. Good play by West Ham, in fairness, down the right-hand side, in particular. Chester, good ball in from Fanals to him. And the ball across to Emerson at the back post. There was nothing wrong with the pass from Chester, just defender tried to intercept it and put it into the back of the net. So it was 1-0 after 2 minutes, and it was sort of like you roll your eyes a little bit. You think, is this what is the standard is going to be like? Because I think Perth didn't even touch the ball. I think we took kickoff and just passed it about, and then it was in the back of the net. 1-0 West Ham. 2-0 after 20 minutes. Gianluca Scamacca with a penalty. And in fairness to Scamacca, a fantastic touch in the build-up. Fanals ended up pretty much through on goal, got bundled over by the defender before Fanals pushed it to Ings to knock into an empty net. But it was given as a penalty, and Scamacca just absolutely blasted it into the bottom corner. And just before half-time, it was 2-1. Perth got back into it with the second own goal of the game, this time Luiziao. Good play by Perth down the right-hand side. And in fairness, there's not much Luiziao can do. It's a really good cross. If he leaves it, I think the Perth striker's favourite to get it and turn into an empty net. So he's got an outstretched leg, hits his big toe. Another day, it goes over the bar, it goes out for a corner, it just stays in play, but doesn't go anywhere near the goal. He's a bit unfortunate, ends up in the back of the net, but 2-1 at half-time. West Ham started with, it looked like it was sort of like a 3-4, a 3-5-2 formation. Luiziao left centre-back, Zuma in the middle, and Levi Lang to the right. Emerson left wing-back, Downs and Potts sitting, Chester playing right wing-back, and Fanal sort of in the number 10 role. He had a bit of a free role today. And then Scamacca started up front with a ball, Danny Ings. In the first half, we played all right. I thought we were pressing pretty high. We were knocking the ball about. Bar the last 10 minutes, you could tell which one of us was the Premier League side. You could see we were in control. Very, very patient from us in the first half. Like I said at the start, I think every player was guilty of being a little bit sloppy at times. You could tell it was just the second friendly for us in the summer. Some passes going a little bit wayward. There was some moments where the effort maybe wasn't quite 100% from us, but that's what you're expecting in friendlies, the effort-wise side of it. You don't want them running out, giving 100% from start to finish. That's where you're just going to risk injuries and whatnot, and you could tell it was a friendly, but I was happy with what I've seen in the first half. One or two players stood out for me, but we'll get on to them once we go through the second half. So the highlights for the second half, there was plenty of goals to talk about. Jarrod Bowen, Moyes rang the changes at half-time. Jarrod Bowen was one of those that came on and went up front. He took the front two of Ings and Scamacca off and put on Mubama and Jarrod Bowen. And I have to say, it was far more enjoyable watching those two. Now, that doesn't mean Ings and Scamacca played badly or anything. In the first half, I thought Ings was probably the one putting in most effort out of the entire team. At times, you saw what you've seen from Scamacca so far in his West Ham career. You've seen that in 45 minutes in a friendly against Perth. At times, he looked a bit disinterested. At times, he was just walking around. At times, one or two of his passes were a little bit sloppy. But on the other side of it, he looked like the best player on the pitch at times. He would just do something. His passing, his touches, his vision, he looked like the best player on the pitch in the first half on occasions. Really good penalty as well. So it wasn't through fault of Ings and Scamacca really, but the dynamic of Bowen and Mubama, the energy of those two, was just more enjoyable to watch. I think it sort of added a little bit of zip into the game, which was perhaps missing in the first 45. But Bowen got his first goal 55 minutes into the game. Good play down the left-hand side by Creswell and Emerson. Emerson, very patient. He had two or three players he could have chose to pick out. Mubama is perhaps the more obvious one, unmarked, on the edge of the box, but he waited for Bowen to make his run. Lovely ball in. Great finish by Jarrod Bowen. And at times in friendlies, that's all it takes. It just takes that touch of class that the opposition perhaps don't have. You don't need effort in order to showcase that ability. And you see it from Jarrod Bowen. Just the run was really good, but the finish was fantastic from him. We made it 4-1. 40 minutes later, Bowen returning the favour to Emerson. And this is an unbelievable cross. Friendly or not, this is a top cross. This is Jarrod Bowen picks up on the right-hand side, cuts in a little bit, gets his head up, sees Emerson making the run. In comes the cross. It's just Emerson doesn't have to break stride. He's just running. He doesn't have to change direction, break stride, nothing. Heads it into the back of the net. 4-1 West Ham. They did get a goal back a handful of minutes later through Benny. An error from Levi Lang. Now, he actually had a good game up until this point, and I felt a little bit sorry for him, actually, because you want the youngsters to get through the game without making any errors. If they can play well, if they can impose themselves on the game, great, bonus. But if they can get through without making any mistakes, I think that is the primary focus. And up until this point, he looked really good in possession. Defensively, largely untested. There was only that moment in the first half when the ball came in from the right-hand side and the striker was unmarked between Lang and Zuma, and it was a fantastic save by Fabianski. But apart from that, defensively, he was pretty sound in possession. He's pretty sound, but he tries to play quite an ambitious pass into Mubama, got cut out. And in fairness, there's enough opportunity for us to cut this goal out. He sort of drifts past Mubama, Fornals. Lang then clatters into him, but the ball's been played into Benny now, who slips it past Anang in goal. Nice finish from him as well, but 4-2. We made it 5-2, 10 minutes later, Mubama getting his goal. And I think if there's anybody we want to see, I say that, I can only speak for myself. If there's anyone I want to be seen scoring pre-season, it's probably Jarrod Bowen, but followed by that, it's Mubama. I want to see him take his chance, and he took it today. Great play by the youngsters. Chester doing a 1-2 with Sawyer on the right-hand side. Great ball across. Mubama heads it in. And in fairness, if Mubama's not there, I think Earthy heads it in. So great to see him on the score sheet. And then a few minutes later, Jarrod Bowen got his second goal to make it 6-2 West Ham. Again, the ball down the left side. It's all crosses today. Lots of crosses from West Ham. I mean, the first goal cross, second goal penalty, Bowen's goal across, Emerson's goal across, Mubama's goal across, Bowen's goal. So there you go. Five of our 6 goals came from crosses and open play. This time it's Aaron Creswell down the left channel, picking out Jarrod Bowen to get his second of the game and to make it 6-2 West Ham. Now, I have to say, there's 2 players from my man of match. One of them is probably like the real man of match. Another one is because he's a youngster. But I think Fabianski was superb today. He was absolutely fantastic. And, 6-2 makes it look like it was an easy win. And we battered them. And to be fair, it was an easy win in the end. But Perth had their chances. But Fabianski, a top save in the first half from that header. And then the second half, a really, really good save as well from the cross came in from the right. It was such a close range effort. But Fabianski, 2 really, really good saves. He was captain until Aaron Creswell came on. Then he took the captain's armband, which answers the question, who's the next captain of West Ham United? It's Aaron Creswell, because at one point, Fabianski, Ogbonna and Creswell were on the pitch. And I think they're probably the only contenders, really, for the captaincy. Maybe we will buy one. There'll be an official announcement that this is our new captain. But for now, I think we can assume Aaron Creswell is the new captain of West Ham United after Declan Rice joined Arsenal. But I thought Fabianski was superb. But sort of the joint man and match, right? It's a friendly. I'm allowed to bottle it. I'm allowed to sit on the fence. But the second half, the sort of joint man and match will go to Dan Chester. I thought he had a really good game. A difficult position to play, right wing back. But in the first half, I thought he got up and down that side really, really well. And again, in the second half, I thought he did just the same. Sort of makes the first goal. Really good ball in from Mubama's as well. Mubama had we hit the post. Fornals hit the post, but Mubama had an effort from about 25 yards. It's a fantastic save by the Perth goalkeeper, tip it onto the crossbar. But Mubama looked lively. There's a few players impressed me out there. And like I said, it's only a friendly, so you can take it with a pinch of salt. But it's hard not to watch Mubama in that second half and get a little bit excited about what this player can do. It's hard to not watch him and want him to get more and more opportunities, because he impressed me a lot. Good goal. Unlucky not to get a second one. He's confident. His effort is unbelievable. There was a sort of a long ball went down the field at one point, and the defender had acres of space, loads of time, And I will say this: I don't think Scamacca or Ings would have chased it. I think they would have, or Bowen. I think Bowen as well. I think the three of them would have just let the defender deal with it. Mubama just comes sort of running across from the back of the centre backs. It bounced, then he got in front of his man and won it, brought it down, and the play continued. Just really, really good play by Mubama. He really impressed me tonight, actually. I thought he was brilliant. Nobody really had a bad game. One or two players had a quiet one. I thought Final's very, very energetic. You know, in friendlies, you can forgive players if they're a little bit, they're only given 70%. I get it. I can completely get it. Like Bona looked a little bit iffy tonight, but he's not going to go out there. Him, Creswell, they're not going to risk it. They're not going to risk injuries. They're just going to do what they have to do just to get their match sharpness up, get their fitness up a little bit, get through the game. But I didn't feel that with Finals. I thought he was somebody that was out there trying to prove a point almost. I thought it was a very busy performance from him. Quite a good game too. Probably in what we would consider to be his best position. I guess the question is, well, is this the long-term plan? I don't think so. I'm not convinced we see Moyes give too much away in pre-season when it comes to tactics and formations. I think the way we played was to accommodate Ings and Scamacca, essentially. Because if we played the first half and we wanted to play Ings and Scamacca, and we don't want to play two up front, one of them's playing right wing or something silly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were just playing this formation to accommodate the personnel available to us. You know, we had Obona, Luiziao, Zuma, Lang. So having three centre-backs allows us to give them a good run out as well. Creswell can play there. So I think that's possibly why we played the formation rather than something I expect to see long-term. But once the international players are back, so not the Tottenham game on Tuesday, but the following games when we play Vernay and when we play Leverkusen, I think that's when we might see what the formation is going to be for next season once we've got Benrahma, Paqueta, Soufal, Souček, Aguirre back into the side. But a good run out for us today. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it, actually. It was an enjoyable game. It was nice to see the under-18s in the team. Freddie Potts at one point was dictated to Kurt Zuma where to pass the ball. I like seeing that. I like seeing the youngsters go into the side and try and stake a claim, really. Try and puff their chest out, and they're not there to make up the numbers. And they've certainly done that. Like I said, I thought Chester had a good game. Potts played a large portion of the game in centre midfield as well. Sawyer came on and looked busy. So, yeah, all in all, a really good performance. I think Moyes will be really happy with that and getting us 6 goals. Jarrod Bowen looked good. And I think we'll see him start against Spurs on Tuesday. I think you can probably guess a few of the players that didn't start today will start on Tuesday. And Bowen will be one of them. But that's, you know, he scored on Monday. He's got another couple of goals today, got an assist as well. So that's good. We need Bowen with a little bit of momentum going into the new season. So anyway, yeah, happy days. Well done, West Ham. Can't read too much into it because it's only friendly, but I think you can read some things into it. I don't think you can discard everything completely. But you know what? I enjoyed watching that. So man of match, Fabianski. Joint man of match, Dan Chester. But I'm going to disappear. If you've enjoyed this video, please do drop a like on and subscribe to Hammers Chat, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.